What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is the Good Game Podcast. My name is A1K, and I am the host of the Good Game Podcast. This is episode 19, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Good Game Podcast. We have a lot of information to get into on today's episode, plus some breaking news. But before we get into all that, I want you to do me a quick favor. If you haven't already, please hit that like button right away. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you want to leave a donation to support the channel, I will have the Cash App information in the bio of this video. So with all that being said, I don't want to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, a lot of you may be familiar or not, but if you haven't heard, TikTok was banned recently, and whether you know it or not, it has been recently unbanned. That's right, TikTok is now back online as of July 19th, 2025 at 11 a.m. So, with all the content creators and all the people out there making videos and posts talking about how sad they are that TikTok will be banned, all the memories and videos will be gone forever. Don't worry, it's back online. And we're going to talk about a little bit why that happened today. So, TikTok says it is working to restore service in the U.S. and thanked President-elect Donald Trump after he intervened over the ban. On Sunday morning, Trump vowed to issue an executive order on Monday in a bid to get TikTok back up after it went dark shortly before the ban went into effect on January 19th. By Sunday afternoon, the Chinese-owned app released a statement saying it had reached an agreement with its service providers. And here is the quote, direct quote from ByteDance. In agreement with our service providers, TikTok is in the process of restoring service, the social media giant said. We thank President-elect Trump for providing the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties providing TikTok to over 170 million Americans and allowing over 7 million small businesses to thrive, end quote. President-elect Trump said that his order would give TikTok's China-based parent company ByteDance more time to find an approved buyer before the platform is subject to a permanent ban in the United States. During his first administration, Trump did push for a ban on the app over national security concerns with China in 2020, but I guess times have changed. Things are a little different now, and I'm not gonna lie, being responsible for unbanning TikTok, I think in the eyes of millions of Americans, that may just be a good thing. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Definitely a very strong political move. I know we don't get into too much politics on the Good Game Podcast, but here I just wanted to bring you guys some breaking information because this is something that affects millions of Americans. TikTok went offline in the United States at about 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday when a message appeared saying, quote, "Sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned." So, just to summarize what we've learned so far, some users report TikTok is up and running following a brief outage. TikTok has directly thanked President-elect Donald Trump, says they're working to restore service, and most likely will give him the credit once or if they are permanently restored. And for a lot of people, TikTok going offline in the U.S. was a very big deal. I know many people who were personally affected. And I think a lot of this also has to do with the 100 million plus Americans who also migrated to another version of TikTok, which just so happens to be from China. So interesting to see these last couple of days how this story has played out. And Trump has said he will most likely give TikTok a 90-day reprieve on ban. So that is most likely to happen, and we will have more information in the next coming days. Political commentators have suggested that the drama surrounding TikTok is a quote-unquote scam to make President-elect Donald Trump look good after he has vowed to save it. Very interesting points, and there's a couple of different ways to look at this, but I think ultimately this is a move that had to happen. I never thought that they would actually ban TikTok for an extended period of time, and I think just those few couple of hours that it was down was enough to show people that, you know, these things can come and these things can go. And if we want to see apps like this stick around and, you know, promote free speech and things like that, then we have to do better as users and content creators and stop pushing content on a platform that could be seen as bad or detrimental to someone else. And that's the direction I would like to see this go moving forward. All right, so moving on to our next topic of the day, we're going to talk a little bit about Dawn Staley and her new contract at South Carolina, making her the highest paid women's coach in collegiate basketball history. South Carolina announced Friday that Dawn Staley has received a contract extension through the 2029 and 30 season that will make her the highest paid coach in women's basketball. The contract, approved by the university's Board of Trustees, starts with an annual salary of $4 million, includes a $500,000 signing bonus, and has an annual $250,000 escalator, bringing the total value to approximately $25.25 million. Dawn Staley is a once-in-a-generation coach who has made a tremendous impact on the University of South Carolina, Athletic Director Jeremiah Donati said. She has elevated the sport of women's basketball on the national level and here on campus. I am excited that she will be representing our university for many years to come. Staley has won 3 national championships since taking over the program in 2008, including last season's 38-0 team who won the title. Going back to 2013-14 season, the South Carolina Gamecocks are 165-15 in SEC regular season play. They have won or tied for the league regular season title 8 times in that stretch and won 8 SEC tournament titles. Staley was making $3.2 million this season before the extension went into effect. Staley also guided to the United States women's basketball team to the gold medal in the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. South Carolina's only loss this season came in November to UCLA. The number 2 Gamecocks are 17-1 overall and 5-0 in the SEC. And they host number 13 Oklahoma on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Definitely will be checking out that game. Looking forward to seeing that. According to the Charleston Post and Courier, if Staley terminates the contract before its end, she would owe the school the full amount of the remaining contract, with one exception: if she takes a head coaching or assistant job in the WNBA or NBA. Definitely interesting to see that exception in the contract. Definitely something that a lot of people haven't really considered, but who knows? This may be something that Dawn wants to do. Maybe she feels like she's accomplished all she can at South Carolina, and it may be time to move on to the WNBA or even it may be time to move on to the NBA or the WNBA or whatever the case may be, but she's made no statement stating either way. So I think for now she's more likely to stay in South Carolina for the time being and win a few more championships while she's at it. She's got a great team, a lot of talent on that roster and in that organization. So there's no reason why she should want to leave while she's on top. But at any rate, it would be interesting to think of her as a WNBA coach potentially. I know a lot of teams who for sure would love to have her on board as a head coach. And honestly, a lot of NBA teams as well, to be quite honest with you. So shout out to Dawn Staley. Shout out to all of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Looking forward to y'all playing this Sunday afternoon. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our next topic of the day. So we got to break down this college football national championship game. Notre Dame versus Ohio State. And if you didn't know, tickets for the championship game are soaring with Ohio leading states. It would have been reasonable to worry that the prolonged 12-team college football playoff would have exhausted fans spending money before the final cost of reaching the championship game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Instead, the first 12-team playoffs has only fed ticket prices for the sellout. Ticket resale sites report prices starting at about $1,800 and averaged as much as $2,500 for the championship game. Approximately 17% of sales on StubHub have come from the state of Ohio, according to Bocanegra, making it the runway leader among states. He said Illinois was second at 6%, followed by Indiana at 4%. That doesn't mean Ohio State is a lock to have the most fans at the game. Brett Daniels, Senior Director of Communications for the College Football Playoffs, said each school exhausted its allotment of 20,000 tickets as the game is designed to produce a, quote, natural sight feeling, unquote. Notre Dame's national fan base makes it difficult to predict the fan turnout based on sales by states. Vivid Seats predict Notre Dame fans will make up 55% of the crowd on Monday night as the Irish look for their first national title since 1988. So definitely looking forward to that game. National Football Championship in college. A lot of people think Ohio State is the better team, but at the same time, Notre Dame is a team that cannot be discounted and cannot be slept on. It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people expect. I think it's going to be a high-scoring, close game. If I had to pick a winner right now, just based on hype alone and the momentum and what I've seen on and off the field, I'm going to have to rock with Notre Dame with the upset. I know we all like a good upset, and I do too. So for that reason, I'll pick Notre Dame to win this game. But let me know in the comments who you think will win this game. If you're watching the game, let me know in the comments what you think. And with that being said, let's move on to our final topic of the day. But before we get into it, I need you all to do me a favor. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out our bio of the video for information on how to leave a donation if you want to support the show and keep us going. And with that being said, our final topic of the day. We have some information regarding a new basketball league. Maverick Carter is advising $5 billion effort to start a new basketball league. Maverick Carter, LeBron James' business partner and manager, as some of you may know, has been enlisted as an advisor by a group of investors seeking to raise $5 billion to form an international basketball league that would serve as a rival to the NBA, sources told ESPN, confirming a story first reported Thursday by Bloomberg. The group, which includes multiple private equity funds, is looking to form a league consisting of 6 men's teams and 6 women's teams playing games around the world. Although Carter, who has served as a producer of more than one of James's TV and movie projects, is closely tied to the Los Angeles Lakers star, sources told ESPN that James is not involved in the efforts with this new league. James, whose current Lakers contract includes a player option for the 2025-26 season, has expressed interest in becoming an NBA owner once his playing career comes to an end. Bloomberg reported that the investment group might try to tap private equity and sovereign wealth funds to raise the $5 billion it's seeking. Currently, private equity funds are limited to a 20% stake in NBA teams and are not allowed to serve in governing roles. The NBA has not faced a significant rival 5-on-5 league since the 1970s, when it merged with the short-lived American Basketball Association and absorbed 4 of its teams, the Pacers, Nets, Nuggets, and Spurs. The WNBA has beaten to market by the rival American Basketball League in the 1990s, although the league folded after 2.5 seasons. This season, a new 3-on-3 women's league, unrivaled, is starting up and has filled its roster with many of the WNBA's biggest stars, though rookie sensation Caitlin Clark chose not to participate. So definitely interesting. We may have a new basketball league coming around pretty soon. I think it may be good for the game to have another league around besides the NBA. And it's not to diminish or down talk the NBA. I think the NBA is great. I think it's still a fantastic sport. But we do need to have more competition and more leagues out there because it's such a phenomenal game that it's only right that we get to see people from all over the world in different countries get to participate and showcase their skill set. And who knows, maybe even get scouted by an NBA scout and make it to an NBA roster in the future. This may open up a lot more possibilities for other countries and more talent to come to the NBA. And I think it's just great for the sport in general. I like what they're doing with the unrivaled WNBA players. And I think 3-on-3 is a great idea too. It's a little bit different than 5-on-5, but you still get the same excitement and flow of watching basketball. So I think it's great. Definitely here for it, and I support it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would you be okay with a new basketball league, potentially international players and American players competing all over the globe? And how do you feel about the unrivaled 3-on-3 women's league that just recently started? Let me know in the comments what you think about these and all topics mentioned on today's episode of the Good Game Podcast. But that is a wrap for today's episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you get notified whenever we drop a new episode of the Good Game Podcast. I want to thank everybody once again for tuning into the show. God bless y'all. A1K signing out. Peace.